Meantime, today in Newtown, Connecticut, a high school graduation. Roughly 60 of those getting their diplomas are survivors of the Sandy Hook Elementary Massacre, one of the deadliest school shootings in American history. 20 of their fellow first graders and 6 educators were killed in the mass shooting on December 14th of 2012. Today, those victims will be honored. Since then, sadly, other school shootings have happened and concerns for violence remain, including locally. A recent CBS6Albany.com poll found 44% of those who answered feel they're extremely worried about the possibility of a school shooting occurring at their child's school. We've spoken to Max Schachter several times in previous Crisis in the Classroom reports. His son Alex was killed in the Parkland, Florida school shooting in 2018. He's now an advocate pushing for greater access to school violence data. For the Sandy Hook survivors like Max, the day their lives changed forever remains with them.
The shooting was kind of like our most core memory growing up. And I think that took away a lot of the joy that we could have experienced when we were 6 years old. And I can't really remember many times before the shooting.
Not only should parents have access to information, but school districts and the leaders that are trying to make decisions, you know, in Albany, how are they able to make decisions based on funding and school safety if they don't know what's happening inside the schools?
That student you heard from, Grace Fisher, hopes to become a civil rights lawyer after college. A recent Pew Research survey found 59% of K-12 teachers say they're somewhat worried about a school shooting, including 18% who are extremely worried.
On Wednesday, several dozen students who survived one of the worst mass shootings in U.S. history graduated high school. They were first graders at Sandy Hook Elementary School, where a gunman murdered 20 of their classmates and 6 adults. The new graduates tell how their lives have been shaped by the tragedy and how they're determined to keep massacres like it from happening ever again.
It is bittersweet, you know, knowing that they should have been there.
Matt Holden is among the more than 300 Newtown High School graduates. Today, they'll be missing the 20 classmates who aren't celebrating with them.
This is such a monumental day, and we all can feel what we've lost.
It's been nearly 12 years since a gunman entered Sandy Hook Elementary School, killing 20 first graders and 6 educators. The horrific memory still so vivid in these seniors' minds.
We just heard popping and popping, so the loudspeaker came on with our principal, Don Hawksprung, telling us to get to our safe spots. When we heard the phone drop, which was something I'll never forget, and then we made it to the firehouse where we lined up by grade, and immediately we saw the chunk of our grade that was missing.
CNN talked to a 6-year-old Seaver weeks after the shooting on her first day back to school.
What do you think you're going to do today? You don't know? Excited to see everyone?
Back then, Seaver didn't know how the tragedy would shape her life. Now it's more clear. She wants to be a therapist.
I want to help give back to people who either are struggling and went through, you know, an act of violence with a gun, or people who just need help in their normal lives.
Seaver, Holden, Walsenack among a group of Newtown seniors who are now activists. Last week, meeting with Vice President Kamala Harris to discuss gun violence.
It is so frustrating. You know, you turn on the TV or you scroll on social media and you see these kids now and you say, now they're like me.
For me to take that tragedy and try and do something with it, whether it's stopping others from happening in the future or just making the most out of my own life since theirs got cut short.
Holden attending George Washington University in the fall, eager to be a politician.
The way I see it, the only way that I'm going to get the change I want to happen is by doing it myself.
But first, a diploma. Oh, what they survived, but oh, the places they will go.
It is graduation day at Newtown High School in Connecticut.
And the day does come with some mixed emotions. About 60 of the more than 300 graduating seniors survived one of the deadliest school shootings in U.S. history. 20 first graders and 6 educators were killed at Sandy Hook Elementary School on December 14th, 2012. And today, flowers were laid on each of their names at the memorial honoring their lives. CBS 2's Alice Gaynor is in Newtown, where survivors are speaking out ahead of the ceremony.
At the Sandy Hook Memorial, flowers are placed by the names of the educators and the students who should have been graduating high school Wednesday with their peers.
What if they were able to walk the stage with me?
It's been more than 11 years of wondering.
The what ifs kind of spoil a lot of precious moments, just because you always remember that they're not there. So even going to prom, you think, well, what if they were my prom date?
20 children, forever first graders, after the horror of December 14th, 2012.
The shooter actually came into my classroom, so I had to watch all my friends and teachers get killed, and I had to run for my life at 6 years old.
Emma Ahrens was in classroom 10, where 5 children and both teachers were killed. She remembers the gunman paused to reload.
I was gonna be next, but there was a split second where a kid decided to say run.
These survivors are part of the Junior Newtown Action Alliance pushing for gun safety. They met with Vice President Kamala Harris at the White House last week. 17-year-old Matt Holden will attend George Washington University and plans to become a politician, advocating for more gun laws, even asking the vice president for an internship while he was there.
I think that really gives me some hope that maybe that conversation and others will lead to some real change.
Another student plans to become a therapist. A couple of others hope to become civil rights lawyers. No matter their path, the advocacy, they say, will continue. And through heavy hearts, they will mark this milestone.
Super excited about heading to college. It's definitely a very bittersweet kind of emotion.
Bittersweet because Grace Fisher is graduating Newtown High School without 20 of her classmates. They were killed in the massacre at Sandy Hook Elementary nearly 12 years ago. Emma Ahrens was there that horrible day too and lost her best friend.
Thinking about all the what ifs of what if they were sitting next to me at graduation? What if we were still friends? Where would we be?
Both Emma and Grace were just 6 years old in 2012 and seated in their first grade classrooms when the gunman stormed into their school.
We thought it was construction because it's been going on for the past couple days on the roof. And then a guy armed came into my classroom and started shooting all of my friends and my teachers and my classmates. His gun had been jammed, and a friend of mine, Jesse Lewis, had yelled at us to run, and that's what we did.
We kind of sectioned ourselves into the cubby area, which is kind of like an indent, so from the door, we're absolutely hidden. I remember feeling like I was in danger.
Emma remembers bumping into the gunman in her rush to get out. The boy who yelled to her and others to run, Jesse Lewis, was fatally shot on the spot.
You believe he saved your life?
I do, I really do. In the hallway right by the main entrance, there was chairs in front of the office, and under the chairs were people. Because of the force of impact of the bullets, they were blown under the chairs.
When we got to the firehouse, we had to line up by grade, and that's when my teacher was really this is really not okay, because when we lined up by grade, half of our grade was missing and everyone else was there.
In the years since, both girls have struggled to cope with the memories from that day.
I've gone to therapy for 6 or 7 years. I have survivor's guilt, PTSD.
It definitely instilled a lot of fear in me, and even now I don't think I've been to a single concert in my entire life, just because I'm really worried about that big crowd of people and not knowing where to go in case of an emergency.
They've turned some of that anxiety into action.
I want to live in a nation that values children more than guns.
Both are members of the Junior Newtown Action Alliance, which promotes gun safety.
I do not want future kids of America to have to be scared in a classroom.
We really are pushing, obviously, for a federal assault weapons ban, but also we do shift our focus to safe storage laws and also mental health resources.
They've met with members of Congress about gun laws, and just last week, Vice President Kamala Harris. And yet school shootings continue.
It's definitely like a knife to the heart when you see it happen again and again after fighting so hard.
On graduation day, the names of those lost were read, and ribbons marking the day of the massacre worn in their honor.
Because their lives were lost so early, and I went through that at such an early age, I feel like it's my purpose to continue my life in honor of them.
I know whatever I do they will be proud of me. I like to believe that.
On the most recent anniversary of the shooting, Emma posted this photo on her Instagram, writing in part, "I just want to live in a safe world. I miss you guys every day. I hope you are happy in heaven." The picture shows Emma with her best friend, Avielle Richmond, who died in the shooting.
We are still kids, so we do as much as we can to enjoy ourselves and still live our lives while still carrying the memory of those we lost with us.
It's hard because, you know, you have these big moments in your life, things that are supposed to be solely exciting, but they get clouded by this in a way that we want to be remembering our friends and we are going to keep them with us, but it's also something that we wish we never had to deal with.
Compared to some of our classmates who can go to Sandy Hook, our memories of elementary school are really empty, blocked out, massive parts of it. But it is still graduation and it is still an exciting day, and we're trying to make sure we put, that feeling first. We don't want to make this into a memorial. It is ultimately what should be the biggest day of most of our lives.